Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. I'm going to do a week 8 recap real quick here. Jump on it. I'm pretty happy about that because I've actually pretty much picked pretty much all winners, with the exception of the Raiders who let me down, which is pretty much letting everybody down who have them preseason pick probably going to the Super Bowl and being an AFC Championship game. We'll start first with the Ravens and Dolphins. That was a Thursday night game. Pick the pick the Ravens. They actually lost Joe Flacco, their quarterback, after a vicious hit from the linebacker. Big boy should have got down a little bit sooner. I don't think it was a dirty hit or anything intentional, but you need to get down. Uh, Dolphins, you don't know what you're going to get with the Dolphins. Again, pick the Ravens, and Ravens is trying to start to come on. One of the things I got from out of the Ravens, their defense came to play. They played ball. That's the staple of a Ravens team is great defense. That was all started with guys like with the great Ray Lewis, and later on with Ed Reed and all them guys. And this is what these guys need to come up. Solid quarterback, playing some good running, some good and playing good running back. Alex Collins, running back from out of Arkansas, 18 catches for 113 yards. He looks good. He looks like that they may have actually a keeper at back, and that's what they need because they really haven't had a really great, really decent back, basically since the unfortunate thing with the whole Ray Rice incident and whatnot, and even when they had Ricky Wiggins for a time. Um, and like I said, had Malik come in and do some cleanup work, but it was the defense of the running game that got him that W there for the most part. Vikings and the Browns that was played over in London. Of course, picked the Vikings. Vikings playing good defense, really good defense, and the quarterback Keenan, 27 for 43, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one pick. Uh, and playing good defense. And they played the Browns. Enough said about the Browns. Really don't have to say too much about the Browns because the Browns are going absolutely positively nowhere. Even though in this game they were there in the game, the score really doesn't indicate that, but it's like they were close. Going, I think, literally going into the fourth quarter, but gave it away. Uh, Next game we got, I think, the Falcons and the Jets. Uh, Close game. Like I said, Jets keep kind of shooting themselves in the foot. It's a few games that they supposed to actually won. They had the game basically should have won basically or close to winning against that of the New England Patriots. Lost that game. This game, few mental errors, mistakes here and there. Uh, Josh McCown, 26 to 33 for 200, I think 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matty Ice for the Falcons played, it was really solid quarterback play on both sides. It was some strong defense played on both sides of the ball. Big plays, sacks, and fumbles and whatnot, and strip balls and everything. So the defense played very good. Wasn't much of a running game. You had wasn't nothing that big of a running game. Nobody really going on for 100 yards or anything like that. Like I said, Jets are right there, but just those little mistakes here and that, which is causes them not to do what they basically need to do. So the Falcons won that, picking the Falcons. Picked the Panthers and the Buccaneers. That was the defensive game for the most part. Cam did what he had to do. He hooks up with Benjamin, who ironically today gets traded, and that's like I've been saying, they need big playability, and Benjamin is a part of that big playability, but not really a major person that really stretches the field. He's that end zone presence, but we'll see what happens. Buccaneers, again, James Winston can be a hell of a quarterback, but he tries to sometimes do too much, and sometimes you got to take the sack and throw the ball out of bounds, or try to take off running and do something. Uh, Buccaneers right now going nowhere. Uh, 49ers and the Eagles. 49ers and the Eagles. You had Carson Wentz, 18 for 32. He didn't have a great day. He was 18 for 32, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had a pick. That was some pretty decent. Like I said, the score indicates a little, kind of, but 40, the Eagles defense came to play, and they shut down the 49ers when the 49ers was, kind of just hanging around, but just couldn't get anything in obviously in the end zone due to the Eagles defense. But it's not like Wentz had a great day, but he did throw for 2 touchdowns. Eagles are for real, and because they got the defense. Not much in the running game department, but ironically enough, Dolphins trade Jay Ajaya, I think it's Jay Ajaya, to the Eagles, as a matter of fact. So we'll see what happens with that. Bears and the Saints, of course, picked the Saints. Saint 22. That was a close game, good game, really good game. Uh, Unfortunately, I know that tight end broke his leg catching a touchdown pass, even though they ruled it wasn't a touchdown. But from the looks of it, it was a touchdown. Uh, Not a lot going on in there. Drew Brees does what Drew Brees normally does. Their defense played some good ball. Bears was right there in it. Trubisky had an opportunity to take it down the field. Ends up it ends up 4th and 1 play. Could have been a dump play. Nothing there. Uh, basically underthrew the ball. He got kind of got rushed, and threw the ball to Levi's more or less. And then they came back and got the ball again, and then he throws a pick and pretty much seals the game right there. So he's still in his learning pains. But Saints 5-2. Chargers and Pats. Brady as usual. Brady does what Brady does. Rivers actually had an opportunity. Gordon had a very good game, 14 carries, 132 yards, and 1 touchdown. Pats really don't have much of a running game. Everything is pretty much on Brady's arm. Brady 32 of 47, 333 yards and 1 touchdown. Didn't play a very good game. Chargers was in that game. A few mistakes. The punt returner, kick returner, can't think of the young man's name, going backwards with the whole thing with the safety that cost him 2 points. Uh, just things that Chargers do to just shoot themselves in the foot week in and week out. Raiders and Bills, this is the one I missed. I'm thinking the Raiders, okay, boom, they beat Kansas City. They're going to be on the road. They're getting ready to play ball. Of course, they get the brakes beat off of them, 34-14. Raiders, like I said, and I keep saying it, all that talk, all that hoopla, these guys read too many of them press clippings and everything, 34-14. Um, it's not like anything was greatly done as far as you had LaShawn McCoy was the star of this game with 27 carries and 151 yards and a touchdown. Carr 31-49, one touchdown, 2 picks. That says it all right there. Raiders have no running game, and they're just not really getting it done. Period. They're just not. They don't have anything really going on for them at this particular point, as far as I'm concerned. Uh, Beast Mode didn't even play, suspended due to what happened the last week. So that tells you pretty much all about the Raiders right there. Colts versus the Bengals. That was a good game. Uh, Again, Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 39, I believe, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, one interception. Um, Frank Gore, decent day for the most part. Jack Doyle, 12 reception, 121 yards. Really wasn't a lot going on in the rushing department over the Cincinnati side. Joe Mixon had a good game, receiving three catches for 91 yards, had a costly fumble. Dalton, 17 for 29, 243, 2 touchdowns, a nice defensive game. Quarterbacks got sacked, a few fumbles here and there, a few unfortunate picks, but the Colts are right there. Like I said, I think Jacoby Brissett can play in this league. It's just unfortunate. Just certain things just happen with this team at this particular point. And, and again, no Andrew Luck. Texans Seahawks straight up shootout. I mean, what can you say about Deshaun Watson? Well, you can't say anything about him. Again, like all them teams had an opportunity to get him, so he fell to the Texans. He should have started from day one. The kid's a star. He plays big time. Played in 2 national championship games, 1-1. Then he comes over and then they play, well, he's spread quarterback. I don't care about that. This league is turning into things that you say it's not. So you say a spread quarterback can't play in the league. No, a spread quarterback can play in the league if you give him the chance to play in the league and put pieces around. Of course, he has to have the talent. He has to be able to adjust of course, obviously to the speed of the game. But the man can play. There's no doubt. There's no doubt he could play. So I don't see how other teams passed up on him. I was saying months ago he was the best quarterback in the draft, and that's showing improving with that's showing improving with the stats that he actually and he put up. We're talking about 19 for 30, 402 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw 3 picks and had a pick six. I mean, he's still a rookie, but he can make plays. Give him an opportunity, he would make plays and rush for over for 50 yards. So you had that. But this is what I'm talking about. The Seahawks, of course, win this game 41-38. It's time to start talking about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has to be probably one of the most underrated elite quarterbacks in the league. People were sitting there talking about Matty Ice, Matt Ryan for what he did last year. Give him that. But all the other years before that, he was a few years in the league before Wilson is a winner. Always have been a winner, and the guy does not quit. He comes back. He comes back. He doesn't matter. If it doesn't show you that, go back to that Carolina game back in the 15 season or the 2016 playoffs when Carolina basically was blowing them out. And if it wasn't for just time running out, they would have beat Carolina because he brought them basically all the way back. Russell Wilson is that kind of 26 to 41, 452 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. You had Tyler Lockett, six catches, 121 yards. And you also had Paul Richardson, six catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. No running game, and they should be getting some help because one of the Houston Texans' big offensive lineman, Brown, will be going over that. That's what they need help at. They still need some running game. Of course, Legion of Doom, not what it used to be, but still one of the better defenses. They just probably didn't think the kid was going to be able to do that, but Deshaun Watson is the truth. And you ain't heard it here first, but you've definitely heard it. He was the best quarterback in the draft, bar none. Cowboys, Redskins, all about Zeke Elliott's show for the most part. Dallas played good. Dallas should have at least scored about 45 points in this game. That's about the third or fourth game that they scored over 30 some odd points. They let the Ezekiel Elliott run for 30 some odd yards due to holding. You had Dez Bryant had like a 25-yard, about a 20, anyway from about a 20 or 25-yard game. They would put them on the 5-yard line due to holding, but they got too many holding calls. That would have put them. They end up kicking a field goal, but that would have put them in range for definitely scoring a touchdown. So Ezekiel possibly could have ran for probably right at close to 200 yards, and like I say, they left points on the field. So the score should have basically been at least 40 some points, at least 40 points. Kirk Cousins did what Kirk Cousins does. Like I say all the time, anytime he's got sacked. Some people say, oh, his line doesn't matter. Kirk Cousins is going to be Kirk Cousins, a mediocre quarterback who's made over $60 million, or made over 50 some odd $million based upon what? Steelers and the Lions. Yeah, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, Big Ben Roethlisberger. You had him doing what you had Ben. What was this? What Ben's status upon on Ben? What did Ben actually do here? Yeah, Big Ben, 17 for 31, 317 yards and 1 touchdown and a pick. And Smith Schuster with 7 catches, 193 yards and 1 touchdown. That other kid might be up out of there, even though I don't think they traded him. But all that talk, this kid is a player. Bell didn't have the greatest game, kept the team on. Detroit should have beat the Steelers, had every opportunity to beat the Steelers. They did not score a touchdown. They kicked nothing but field goals. If they score a touchdown, they beat the Steelers. They basically shut down Bell. But with the inability of them to sit up there and score, and the quarterback got him down there, but he got to a point where he didn't even throw a touchdown pass. Although Stafford went 27 to 45 for 423 yards, no touchdowns, and Marvin Jones 6 catches, 128 yards, no touchdowns. If they score one touchdown, just one touchdown, they beat the Steelers. But the Steelers defense, that's another thing to say about the Steelers defense. If the Steelers have that defense, running game with Bell, everything clicking with Ben and his receivers, Steelers will be hard to beat, and they'll be in that AFC Championship game. Chiefs and the Broncos, ain't nothing more to say about this for the most part. I mean, you got Chiefs and Broncos. Smith 14 for 31. 14 for 31, 201 yards. I think 202 yards, 1 touchdown. And Travis Kelce 7 catches to 133, 1 touchdown. I think he might be taking the torch over as the best tight end in the league. Chiefs play ball, and like I said, Broncos are falling apart. They have no quarterback. That's going to be their problem. They still have a defense, but they don't have a quarterback. I mean, this kind of was a game of a few plays here and there. For the most part, Simeon throws like 3 picks. One was a fumble recovery to rip the ball up out of running back for the Broncos, rip it out of his hand, and then takes it back the other way. And pretty much, I mean, the Broncos are just falling apart, and it's due to poor quarterback play and lack of a running game. Jamaal Charles, the ball got ripped out. And it's so funny. He had 3 great runs 3 carries. He ended up finishing, I think, with like 8 carries and 35, 38 yards or something like that. After that, he was basically pretty much done. That was it. Chiefs had some Chiefs had some big plays, and there it is. That's pretty much a wrap up. I'll be probably having doing my you know I'm probably going to just, since I'm at it right now, I'm going to do my picks. You have who do we have? You have Buffalo and New York playing. I'm taking Buffalo. Atlanta and Carolina. I'm taking Carolina. Houston and in Indianapolis. I'm taking Houston. I'm taking got Cincinnati and Jacksonville. Mm, I'm taking Jacksonville. I'm taking Jacksonville. Could be wrong on that, but I'm taking Jacksonville. New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Just for surprise. I'm just 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 because I think Tampa Bay's back is against the wall. I'm taking Tampa Bay. LA and New York taking the Rams in New York. Giants taking the Rams. Denver. Mm, this is, I mean, I'm taking Philly. Denver, I'm not trusting because they got Osweiler coming back, so I'm definitely not trusting that. Baltimore and Tennessee. Uh, I'm taking Baltimore on this one. Arizona and San Francisco. San Francisco gets off the snide this week. They get off the snide. I think they win this game against Arizona. Arizona's reeling right now. No quarterback. Washington, Seattle. I'm taking Seattle. Kansas City and Dallas Coast. I'm taking Dallas. Uh, Oakland and Miami. Don't know what's going to go on there. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead on it. I'm going to take Oakland. I'm going to just take Oakland on that one. And Detroit and Green Bay. Detroit and Green Bay. I'm going to take Detroit on this one. I think Detroit, go ahead and get them on that. I don't know if it'll be as good as it was this past week. We went 10-1, so we'll see what happens with this week here. Thank you for joining in for Everything Football. That concludes my wrap up edition for Week 8. We'll be back a little bit later to maybe talk about some other things as well. Check me out at Everything Football 62, YouTube, Everything Football 62 on Twitter, Untucked Man 62, and y'all have a good day. Thanks for checking in.